travel to the Long Island Railroad.
Hey, we're gonna go check on the bees. I usually take the subway to do that. Sometimes if it's not too hot, I walk, but it's really hot out today. But it's the coldest day of the week, so thought I'd take along a little subway ride. What do you think? Train's coming in. Gotta run.
96 R local train. The next stop is Union Street. This is a gauge.
We started here, changed trains here, gone down here. That's Greenwood Cemetery. We're right about there. This is the block the bees are on. They're up there. And Greenwood Cemetery is at the end of the block there. Brian's one of my best, longest friends. And it's nice that we have the bees to do together, because it forces you to get together, whereas usually like you have a friend, maybe you get together, maybe you don't, you know, and you're like, oh yeah, we should do something. Oh, my hand is covering the lens. That would be bad. Here we go. Here we are. So it's the middle of July. The nectar flow in Brooklyn is mainly the linden, and that happened last month. And we just left the honey super on to see. Sometimes there's another nectar flow from other plants. I mean, the fact that Greenwood Cemetery is right over there, there's all sorts of other plants that will contribute, that honeybees collect nectar from. So this is a vented top because we're on this rooftop that bakes. I've got this on here. I think it works really well. So there should be honey in here, so we're going to see what's up with this. Wow, there's barely anything in there. I'm really surprised by that. I'm lifting up the honey super, and I'm going to keep the queen excluder, which is the screen underneath here. I'm going to keep that attached to this box, ideally. Yeah, this is incredibly light. There's just a tiny bit of honey in here, so that's okay. This happens with bees sometimes. Sometimes you miss the nectar flow. I want to make sure that there are fresh eggs being laid in here. So I got to pull up a frame. I can't really see what the camera is seeing because it's so bright up here. That's nice. Looks pretty good. I'm kind of expecting to run across the queen here. But I see, again, uncapped, in other words, the little worms in the bottom. That means the queen is present. The brood pattern's a little not great, but yeah, I don't see the queen. You know, other beekeepers, I watch their videos and they're like, oh, here's the queen. And I'm like, how do you do that? So I just pulled the honey super off the hive. there's a little bit of nectar in there, they're not going to fill it, and I don't want to leave it on there, and then they will fill it halfway and uncapped, and at the end of the year, it's kind of a mess to deal with. So there's not going to be a large honey flow from now on, so it's not good to leave that on there, lack of a better word. But anyway, the bees now are focusing on building up their food reserves for the winter, and this, the fact that it's empty, I don't want them to focus their energy on filling this. I want them to fill that. So we've got the downsized hive, which is perfect, get them ready for fall and the winter. I shook all the bees out of the honey box, honey super. I cleaned it up over here. We're going down here now. We're going to put that honey super in the backyard and let the bees, or those bees over there, come clean out the little bit of nectar that's in there. And then we're going to put it in the freezer and then store it for next spring. So, boom, there you go. There's something floating right here. Another video. You want to, I have a newsletter. Maybe that's here too. Or there's a link in the pinned comment too. I'm talking for 20 seconds because that's what YouTube tells me to do. So, all right, make it a great day. Catch you later.